one of the reasons I felt I survived in certain circumstances was I needed to tell someone what I went through.
What's the most painful thing you went through as an addict?
The most painful thing I went through as an addict? Wow, which one? I have to go back into the Rolodex. Does anybody remember Rolodex?
I do. Yeah.
Thank goodness. Mm-hmm. I would, the first thing that popped to mind, seeing as we're in therapy, and that's how this goes, I have to say the having to drink before a phone call and feeling so alone and feeling like I was going to blow every opportunity and I was never going to reach my potential. And that was something that I would feel daily because I couldn't go out. I remember one time taking a big hit off my bong and then running down the stairs to get the mail because that's the only way I could get the mail. And I bumped into the mailman and exhaled and I'm like, oh my God, I could never get the mail now. Like I blew my one thing I could do. And then I'd go back up and drink. And also my husband was gonna leave me. So I remember like one time, I was a bad drunk and I was waiting for him to come home. And I thought, I wonder if I have time to pour myself a drink. And I thought, no, I'll have to drink it from the bottle. And I'm drinking it, the bottle smashes, there's red wine everywhere. And turns out I had enough time because the guy never came home that night. He said, yeah, if you were such a drunk, I'd come home. And I said, sorry. So I think that was pretty painful. And then I also felt I was with a guy once accidentally.
Wait, accidentally. Sorry.
Well, I couldn't be alone.
Oh, I see.
So
Okay,
it was just the one time I would go out, I'd usually come home with someone, like takeout, only I'd bring home a guy. And he'd stay, So one time.
Was it the mailman?
So proud
It wasn't
of
the
that.
mailman, was it?
No.
Oh, okay. Oh.
No. It was a guy at a bar.
Oh.
He said he was British, but then I found he was really from San Diego when his mother called.
Oh my God.
I was gullible. So wait, where was I going with going out to get a guy?
So you were saying something about
The agoraphobia.
agoraphobia, but you said, I got sidetracked because I was going to ask you what happened to the mailman.
ADD, this makes me a good writer, but not such a great interview.
Well, no, I love the stories. The mailman, when you exhaled on him, what happened? Did you ever have to see him
I don't
again?
know. I just died a little and went home and never came out again.
Okay, I see.
Yeah, no, I never saw him again, or I don't think I did. But I was already a little drunk at the time, or I wouldn't have mistimed it.
Right, but you went to a bar. You said you always, you would bring home takeout.
Yes,
and they were
but what
men.
was the initial question? Perhaps that'll get us back.
The most difficult, painful memories of being an addict.
Oh, yes, I remember now. Thank you. Okay, no wonder I pushed it out. I turned to comedy wellness. Okay, one time I was with a guy who the one who pretended he was British. He hit me. And I locked myself in the bathroom. I was in the bathtub and I was shaking and I said, Ma, I found my own Nazis, I made my own Holocaust. I'm like in the bathroom, and he tried to get me deported. Oh my goodness. So I think that was probably a low. I was kind of used to throwing up in bathrooms all over town because that's how I drank. I drank to the point of blacking out. I rarely remembered the end of the evening or looked the same than I did at the beginning of the evening. Yeah, so, but I never learned, I never stopped until I was able to find some meetings where I walked in and here were people sharing it. You threw up in Spagos too? Oh my goodness, what else horrible, embarrassing things have you done? The same things that I did. Right. They found the men, they found the booze, they found the drugs, and they were like sober now. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to keep coming back. This is this is something I have to learn. I have to read up on. But I didn't. So the next day they said you can't share at a meeting unless you have 24 hours of sobriety. And I was like I'm Canadian, a good little alcoholic. I wasn't going to do that. So I thought, how am I going to get 24 hours of sobriety? I thought, okay, because my plan was to go to one meeting, go home and drink myself to death. Not all at once, just eventually, because I had already had a bad liver report. At 26, at UCLA, they told me my liver was going, I had a bad liver panel. And they told me to stop doing everything. I went home and got so drunk because I thought, oh my God, this is going to kill my mother, the Holocaust survivor. I'm going to die before her. Anyway, so I got really, really drunk, So I thought, okay, how am I going to get through this 24 hours so I can share? And I was even offered cocaine, and it was incredible. I just thought, no, I must share. I must share once before I die. I can always die later. So I thought, okay, just get through the night. And I did. And I went to my next meeting and I shared for the first time. I put up my hand and I'm like, you guys are taking cakes and chips for like 10 years. I can't get 10 minutes. How do you do it? And this little old lady who's probably about 10 years younger than me turns around and goes, oh, honey, we do it one day at a time. I'm like the sitcom. Heavy. Okay, I am gonna try this. And I just kept going to a lot of meetings, and here we are, 36 years later, still sober. Because, I learned, first of all, I didn't realize the guy that I was living with was bald, and I didn't know. He wore a weave.
Oh, how did you find out?
Well, it occurred to me his hair was like unusually thick. You know that I'm sober, I was like getting a new pair of glasses. There's actually a book like that. So one night when he kept drinking heavily, so I'm sober, I'm like obsessed with his hair. That was just, so I was I'm gonna find out what's under there. So I like crawl over there very quietly and I lift the thing because he'd had a whole bottle of wine. And I saw it was a weave, it was like stuck on. And then I realized his eyes were open and he was looking at me. And I'm like, I put it down. I went back to my side of the bed. I went back. We never spoke of it. But I thought, if I didn't know my own husband was bald, what else have I been missing? I better stay sober. Because you would think that would be obvious. What else did I get wrong? Turns out a lot. I got a lot wrong.
Do you think that's why storytelling is important? Because you wanted to tell your story, which was real, and that is sharing in a meeting, and essentially you're telling a story of either your day or your life or what you're struggling with.
Yeah.
And so then you get to do that with writing or creating these videos.
Ever since I was a kid, I created the comic books. They had bubbles. I wrote my words in there. Words were always important. I've won contests for writing even as a kid. I was published as a kid. Always words were very important for me to express what was going on and to put them to pictures, my illustrations. It gave me so much more expression that just writing couldn't. But yeah, I had to be a writer. I had to tell people. One of the reasons I felt I survived in certain circumstances was I needed to tell someone what I went through, which I heard some Holocaust survivors say too. They survived because of luck and the need to tell people what went on.